What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another day, another dollar, another day, another video, another day. Let me breaking down the futures contract per usual. Today was not a very easy day to trade, difficult day. Did not make a video yesterday, but just to review what happened, we closed with an outside day up, meaning we took out the previous day's low and the previous day's high and closed near the highs of that day. So we closed with an outside day up and a double distribution day. Show you what that double distribution looks like. I'm gonna highlight the upper distribution just so you have reference. This whole range right here is the upper distribution, basically from H's high down to C's low is the upper distribution. And you can see today when we opened up, we pretty much traded inside that upper distribution all day long until we tried to get into the lower distribution later in the day, which firmly got rejected. Today was not a very good trading day for me, very difficult to say the least. To read, we go out with a pretty wide point of control and nothing resolved. Tomorrow, we should see hopefully some type of direction as we closed with an inside day. So tomorrow we'll look for, if we come out of today's range, look for continuation or lack of. So if we take out today's high, we'll look for continuation to the upside or lack of. If we take out the day's low, which we have some pretty good excess at, if we take that out, we'll look for continuation to the downside or lack of. Like I said, today was not a very easy day for me to trade. Was in a trade for a good portion of the morning and then ended up stopping myself out of just because of lack of confidence in it. And then ended up just getting chopped around. Pretty much basically F period, I was down about $33 on the day, which isn't a lot to be down on considering what was happening. And I was thinking about stepping away, and then I did not sit there, didn't trade in G period, and then traded in H looking for the long side to the upside. I never did anything, came down, got stopped out, increased size in I period on a short, looking to push lower, and then I ended up getting stopped out. Obviously, we ended up pushing lower, which was pretty much my thesis earlier on the day. As far as what happened, A period, I don't think I did anything. Let me see. I'm looking at my notes here from the day. Top and B period said, in B period is when I took this position. I said I am short against A's high. We were one time framing down on the 15-minute chart. My entry was around 61. My target was around 59.23. Said I would take it off if we didn't show any tempo below A's low. So far, it pushed down to the, during that time frame, pushed down to a low of 53. I did nothing. Brought my stop down 54. I added to the position actually. Brought my stop down to 54. Wasn't happy with it with the lack of push. I stopped out pretty much break even. I said I needed more MGI or market generated information. And then I'm not trying to hit home runs. I need to be able to build the account with small hitters, not home runs. C period, I said B closed inside of A's range. C opened up inside of B and just continued to chop. I shorted 64 against B's high in the 144. My stop was at 67. I got stopped out. I then longed it after they got the initial balance high. Stop was break even. I continued to push up. I moved my trailing stop up. Got stopped out. Then here in D period, so that was the last trade in C. In D period is when I took the initial short or another short again against pretty much the edge in D period is what I took the short. I got short a 2 lot at 64. I was fading the edge. My stop was above that day's high, and boy oh boy should I have kept that at the day's high. I was pretty much looking for the targets on the downside. I was looking for 59.23 on the more extreme side, and then I was looking for the single prints to fill at 59.40. What was that A's high? 59.45.50. I was looking for the single prints to fill there. So that was target 1 I was going to take out. And then target 2 was 59.23 on the downside. And the reason for that was basically this day's low or M's low, right around that area. I thought there was a pretty good magnet to the downside. I'd also combined the TPO, all of our TPOs, and seen that we had pretty much a magnet down to that area with a wide, very wide volume node there. So that was my target. We pushed down. I was in the money at pretty good at one point in D period. E period opened up. I stayed short, continued to stay short. We opened 6 for 6 wide. I brought my stop in a little bit. Once F period opened up, I brought my stop in to break even. It pushed F period pushed down lower. Once again, could have taken it off or just remained confident in my position that we were going to go and get these targets on the downside at some point. 32 was also a target. The reason for 32 was pretty much we were trading that value area. You can see the yellow here. We're value high down to value low. We pretty much traded that whole area. And that was more or less what I was looking for when I was trading or took that short initially in D period. So some time had gone by and I pretty much hadn't taken the trade off. My stop was originally above C's high or the day's high. And I was willing to risk it, up to that point. And then I just got tired of waiting. It was pretty much a waiting game. I got tired of waiting. There were some other factors I was looking at. I was looking at the hourly chart. The fact that we never did get above 71 was kind of another thing for me. I seen we had some pretty good resistance around that 71 to 74 level on the hourly chart. So I was kind of looking at that. Maybe we'd end up, if we never did take that out, we'd end up rolling over at some point. Eventually we did, obviously. But I brought my stop down to break even. And then in F period, I got stopped out at break even. So I was very upset with that. G period, I didn't take any trade. Then I said in H period, I actually initially faded in H period to push down lower and come back down towards the other end of the range. I should have stayed in that trade. But instead I took a little bit of, I think I took a point of profit off. Yeah, took a point of profit off. I was short at 67, or no, short at 68. It came in 67. I got out of that trade at 66.75. And it was, very quick. I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna take that off because I had a 3 lot on. And then I took another 3 lot long at 66 against the previous 15-minute time frame low, which ended up getting smoked on. And then I took that short in ES at 61. It pushed up. What time was that? 12:30 was around that time frame. So let's see if we can look on our 1 minute chart where 12:30 was. Yeah, you can see right here. So if I zoom this in, you see right here. I was shorting basically this 1 minute balance area high, right? Against the 144, we had come in an I period already, and I was looking to short against that, a rejection of the 144, and then a rotation down lower as well. I was looking for. And yes, I did put on size as I was short one ES instead of one MES. So I was already really tight with the stop because I didn't want to lose a lot on the trade, and then ended up losing, or adding another $100 loss to the day. But eventually, obviously, it ended up paying, and would have paid pretty freaking handsomely had I just remained in it. Maybe not with the ES to begin with, but with the original position that I had taken in D period, or even in B period when I took the short. But yeah, tough day. That was pretty much my trades for the day. Once again, these videos are pretty much for me. If you find any value out of it, great. If not, that's okay. But for me, it's just good to talk about these trades. And really the only trade I should have taken in H period, instead of taking the long, the only trade that was obvious is fading the edge. Like there was really no reason for me to be longing. I knew there was a wide point of control. I knew we'd come back in and rotate to the other side at some point. I mean, it's a pretty good probability trade whenever we're on a rotational day that we go from one end of value to the other side of value. Maybe we don't always get this type of extension that we got in JK and L period to the downside. But had I continued to stick with that fade and just kept my stop up here, rotate in, I just got impatient, and that impatience led to the demise of the day, right? Ended up just kind of hurting myself. That's really the only, that trade, and then the sizing up whenever I got when the long trade that I had H period that led me to go tilt and get even bigger on the trade in I, because I wanted to prove my original process, right? Because the original short was an H period, stopped out of that one, or made very small on that one, excuse me, flipped long, got stopped out and hurt, and then wanted to prove myself right. So I took a bigger chunk in I period to short, and then ended up just kind of hurting myself even more. So very difficult day. I can't stress to myself enough, or anybody else that's out there trading, that stick to your setups. There's no reason to get long up here. Stick to your setups. Do what you think. Like obviously fading in J period, yeah, you could have faded the edge or the extreme. And that probably would have been the one time that you did get hurt. Obviously, in J period, we did pull back, set a new low on the day, right? Trying to see, yeah, we set a new low on day. If you would have taken the long initially against that single print fill or even B's low, and then it bounced up, obviously you got paid on that trade. But that would, once you started to see the sell come back in, that's when you get out of that trade, right? So ebb and flow shorts would have worked in J, K, and L. Obviously, it stopped at some point, and then you got that V-shaped recovery back up towards the point of control. But you can also expect that to happen, as that is the first time getting into that lower distribution, and then knowing that you had a wide point of control back up here towards the highs. So tomorrow, that's what we'll look for. We'll look to come out of this at some point. The inside day tomorrow, obviously 59.72 it's going to be huge. Got to get above that if you're a bull, and then break above. If you get above 70.72, your next destination is going to be that 88 level on the upside, which is our balance high on the daily, and I'll show you that here in just a second. On the downside, I think it's going to be pretty imperative that you find acceptance below 59.50. And then if you do find acceptance below 59.50, then you're going to come down and test today's low at 59.26. And then you're going to need some more acceleration acceptance below 59.26 for that inside day down and continuation, because from that point forward, you still have this set of single prints that need to get filled down here at 59.05, right? And then you're starting to push down into your balance low area. So let's go ahead and look at that balance. So tomorrow's levels on the upside, buyers want to get above 59.72 and sellers want to defend that. On the downside, buyers want to pretty much defend 59.46 and 59.26, right? If they don't want to see any more damage to the downside happen. But sellers definitely want to break through those levels and find extension below down towards that 5,900 level. Because if you do break below 59.26, you pretty much got a vacuum down to 5,900 and then down to 58.84 is pretty much your next destinations on the downside. So let's go ahead and look at the daily real quick. Maybe not look on this chart. This is, go to the 1 hour back here. Look at, trying to figure out which chart to do it on. So if you just pay attention to my bottom right, how you call your balance is up to you. You can say the balance is a 3-day balance using Monday's or using today's, excuse me, not even today's, using all of yesterday's range pretty much. Or you can extend that range down to what I'm going to call it and use the 15th low of, I mean, it's going to include the overnight, but 58.67, balance low, balance high is going to be today's high or yesterday's high of 59.87.50. Going to be your balance high, your balance low is going to be 58.84. Below that, I think you're going to get some pretty good moves to the downside. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thanks for stopping by and listening. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. Catch you guys in the next one.